Skateboards outside this donut shop, and we're like, bingo, we're gonna get these skateboards, bro. I went up, I saw all these guys with Tony Hawk haircuts like this, and they were like, yeah, bro, we're just here to play video games. You know, they were doing the Tony Hawk.
Welcome to this episode of Chatting with Staxx. I'm your host, Bill Staxx, and today I got Al Garcia and Fabian Alormar. What's up, Al? What's up, Fabian?
Going on, brother?
What's up, people? How you doing, man?
Good, man. Good.
Great. Yeah, thank
Big
you guys
Al.
for coming on. Appreciate you.
Thanks for having us.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, no
short
doubt.
notice.
Yeah, so do you guys want to introduce yourselves separately and let the people know who you are? They could probably tell.
My name's Fabian Alormar. I'm born and raised in LA, ex-pro skateboarder. Grew up in Echo Park. Now I'm an actor, and I'm a mentor for the formerly incarcerated and the ones that are incarcerated still, the youth, the troubled youth, and just yeah, man. I'm on a journey, just trying to grow, just like we did in skateboarding, but now I'm on a whole nother level of doing movies, man, with Al, being a filmmaker.
That's great.
Yeah.
You want to introduce yourself, Al?
Yeah, so my name is Al Garcia. I'm a semi-retired pro skateboarder. I grew up in Lakewood, California. That's my hometown. And I have now been into writing screenplays and directing for a decade. And I'm working with my boy Fabian on some amazing projects, along with our other producing partner, Will Clevenger, with a Big Picture Collective. And we'll get to that later.
That's great, man. So Fabian, where did your life begin? You said you help out the incarcerated and the at-risk youth. I was in prison starting at, I believe, 13 years old was my first time going. And being in the youth crime block and all that. And so what was your first experience with all that?
Well, you could say I was born into it with my parents and grandparents and all my uncles, and everyone was already involved in the gang culture and involved highly in like just the street life, prison. And so growing up, it was kind of like that. It was like inevitable, you could say. It was to do and to be. And well, when you're around it, that's all you know. So I got into my whole dirt and everything. I started when I was young, just hanging around my family and running around with them. But being that everyone used to tell me, "You're different, mijo. You don't have to do this. You're different. Look at them. You don't want to be like them." So that's always been engraved in my head. And even when I was younger, I was taught to say prayers and keep myself like and to go to church and learn the prayer but growing up was rough, so that was the only thing before I found skateboarding that really, learning how to say prayers and just like watching everybody fall, rise, get locked up, die, and just wither in the streets. So thank God my mother and father are still together. They had me at my mom was 15 and my dad was 13 when I was born. So it was just like a crazy upbringing. My parents were partying still, getting locked up, and just involved highly in the gang culture, man, and everything that comes with it. And I've just seen a lot of. I knew that if I didn't get into skateboarding, the streets would have swallowed me up, bro. You know.
How'd
So
you even find skateboarding? How was it introduced into your
that was
life?
that was a mistake, brother. That was like not even supposed to happen. I was Me and my boy Juan, we stole the bike. So when you steal a bike with your homeboy, you got to share the bike. So one day him, one day me. Well, we were kind of arguing about whose day it is, and I just said, "Man, just get on the bars, and we'll just." And I just he got on the handlebars, and when he got on, his brother was playing music in one of those Nissan trucks with the big old speaker in the back, and we were trying to. We used to steal parts like Griffith Park, Hollywood, we're everywhere, big parking lots. We used to go steal cars and steal parts for the truck. So it was a party truck, and we were all, back in those days, you could sit in the back of the truck. You could sit back there and they wouldn't get a ticket. You were listening to Weekends Are Made for Fun. So that was those days. Um, Skateboarding was looked at and like a white boy sport because I'm Puerto Rican Mexican, and my predominantly there's a lot of Chicanos in growing up, and we were like the only like Puerto Rican family mixed with Mexicans right there. We were like all together, but we have I'm half because of my father, and so skateboarding was nowhere in sight. Uh, I went to my friend's house and we would backyard box. We had gloves. This is why we got together, because we would get together, hang out, smoke cigarettes, joints, little pinner joints, and watch bikers. One of my friends, Milton, had a nice bike that he stole, and it was a GT Performer. He stole it
Yeah.
from Beverly Hills, and he was showing off that all the tricks he could do, but he couldn't afford it. But he could do all the tricks, and he was really good at it. So I was like, man, you stole that? Damn. And he's pretty good at it. So we would get together and fight with gloves and just hang out and mess around with like listening to music, looking at girls that lived in the neighborhood and everything, like just nothing to do, up to no good. One day it was pretty quiet. My boy turned off his music on the truck and I heard kapla, kapla, ka, ka. And I was like, what the hell is that? And we looked and there was these two kids, these two Asian kids. And I still remember their name, Kenneth and Ted. And we used to go to school with them, and they were skating down the street. And I'm like, what the hell? What are they doing? Why are they making that noise? I never knew a skateboard made noise like that. I never knew it could pop up. I was seeing him hop a little bit, and like the board was flipping and doing all. He was just messing around, just doing. And then he was upside down with a hand plant. I was like, what the hell? So we drew. I said we wanted to go over there. So it was. I got my boy on the bike. We rode over there, checked them out, and they stopped. They got scared. They didn't want to skate no more because they thought that we were going to take their boards, but that wasn't the case. We just wanted to watch. We wanted to see them. So we fast forward, weeks go by. We're using their boards. Eating shit was part of it. I'm like, I was just, I didn't know how to. I mean, it was fun, but I wanted to learn how to go off the ramp like the way I saw my boy go off the ramp, and I was just like trying things that way ahead of my time and wasn't even ready for it. So eating shit, falling. I learned how to ollie, holding onto a wall and then looking down and planting my feet and just ollieing, holding onto a wall that everybody used to sit on. It had all kinds of gang writing on it.
Yeah.
And I was just learning how to skate. I learned how to do a kickflip. But let me tell you how I got my board. We went to Glendale and Beverly Hills, and we drove all around. We went to Pasadena, and then we saw Colorado Boulevard and Eagle Rock. And there was skateboards outside this donut shop, and we're like, bingo. We're gonna get these skateboards, bro. I went up, I saw all these guys with Tony Hawk haircuts like this, and they were like, yeah, bro, we're just here to play video games. They were doing the Tony Hawk. White kids playing the Tony Hawk, and back then, like, I wouldn't I didn't I was, the mentality was of a thug. I said, fuck this, I'm getting all these boards. So I grabbed like 4 or 5 of them, and one of them slipped and fell. And then we had a truck. We threw them out. My homie grabbed like 4 or 5 of them, and they're like, "Hey, bro, give us back our boards." We're in the back of the truck, swinging their own boards at them, but we're just like, "God, get away, get away!" We didn't hit them or anything, but we're like, "Get away, get it," because they were trying to get their boards back. So we go up our slow ass truck. It was a Ford Courier. We go up the hill. And then we have to bust a U-turn, so we have to pass right by them again. We didn't know where we were at. We're in a whole nother town. So it's funny how you said it. Like my skateboarding started right there. Then I went to the wall, started learning ollies, kick flips. We stole 2x4s, and I'm sure you did too, Al. You had to steal masonite 2x4s and all kinds of wood just to build your own ramps, because there were no ramps, bro. There wasn't no ramps.
Exactly. No skate parks.
We had to make our own shit out of nothing. And all we knew was that there was a spot on Venice Beach, but that's far as hell, like way out on the beach. And back then, that seemed like a million miles away. So I didn't want to go to no damn beach, and I don't even more surfers out there. Come on, more weapons. I'm like, man, what if we run into the ones that we got the boards from? So we're like, we don't want to go to the beach. Let's. But so we stood in the city and we made our little ramps. We made like a little skate park. Eventually, bro. It's funny how like when you're naturally good at it and you just click with the sport or click with a person, you know how you just start talking and like one conversation leads into like a friendship.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I was so great about
with the skateboard. It was that with the skateboard. I just loved it, man. And it was like I was a little ashamed, a little embarrassed, because like, my homies and my family, like they're gonna look at me like, what are you? Orale. You know what they called me? They saw me when my own uncles. Orale, Fabian, you're surfing now? Like,
wow.
And I look back and I say, it's a skateboard, idiot. And that was my uncle. Like surfboard, really surfing on this concrete, like. But he's right. Like he didn't know but he didn't ever see it. He goes, "Hey, all right, white boy."
Sidewalk surfing.
Yeah, you're an anomaly. Yeah, in the neighborhood.
It's like seeing Bigfoot. They never seen him. Like, man. So my friend, a couple of us started skating, and we used to get the blues, bro. They used to talk so much. Like they used to try to, nobody was supportive. At the time, my mom and dad were on drugs and everything. So, and it was just crazy, man. A gang environment is not good for skateboarding. And you try to do the right thing, but your life is not right. You know what I mean? I know skateboarding is good for me, but my life setting where I had to sleep at night was not right. And let me tell you something. To this day, it's still a little, it's still cracking. It's still going on. It's not like we're cured. No more gangs in our family. It's still going down right now, and it's still happening. Drugs, incarceration, and just like a bunch of like the stuff that drugs do to you and make you act a certain way. So now it's caused a wedge to like, it's real. My family, it's real, and it's a thing. It's not just like I'm talking about it. I'm living it right now.
I have a homie.
I go and I save. I'm a life coach, man. Check this out. You guys, I'm a life coach, and I can't even save my own family member, my own siblings, But I'm helping these other people who I don't even know that would listen to me because we're strangers coming out of doing 41 years in prison. I'm a life coach to a man. I'm a life coach to another person that's like a youngster that's now boxing in my gym that I have in Echo Park where I grew up. So it's like, I can't save my own family, but I could save strangers. It's weird, man. It's like they got to hear it from someone else, not me.
Yeah.
I'm sorry I took so much time, man. I'm just
it's all good.
I mean, I have a close friend who was born into gangs, skateboarder, amazing skateboarder. What it was like my brother, and he turned pro, and then things started to kind of fall apart. It was a complete landslide, and because of the gang activity and his family being born into the gangs right from birth, he was a gangster. So I can relate.
How did you get into skateboarding, Al?
Well, if you recall on the last interview, it was through Back to the Future. And I'm sure Fabian will attest to this. That really kind of created the resurgence, right? Fabian was skateboarding, Back to the
Yeah.
Future.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody from Mike Carroll to all these like
Gleam in the
icons
Cube.
in
Remember
skateboarding.
Gleam in the Cube?
Started Gleam in the
Game
Cube
in the
came a
Cube.
little
You had
later.
remember a Police Academy?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. That came a little like 87. We're talking 85 when Back to the Future. I started skateboarding on the first day Back to the Future opened. My mom took me to Kmart and went ahead and bought me the Valterra board when Michael J. Fox skated. It even had the sticker. Remember, I said it as seen in Back to the Future
Yeah.
under Kmart, and I never looked back. Yeah.
That was state of the art back then, right?
Oh
Yeah, it
yeah.
was.
Yeah.
Crazy, man.
Good old Valterra skateboards, man.
So you started in 81, 82,
85.
85.
Yeah.
Damn, you started before me, bro.
Yeah.
When did you start, Fabian?
I'm an old timer, I guess you could say. OG. I prefer to call
What
myself.
year did you start, Fabian?
Like 87, 87,
That's right around
86, 87, around there.
How did you guys' paths cross?
Oh man, it was it 88? I met Fabian. We were doing a lot of castle contests and local, because back then, Bill, they didn't have like these organized, sanctioned events like they have today, like all Street League and all these big venues. So we started skating these California Amateur Skateboard League contests, like in the mid to late 80s. And
it's called
then
Castle.
Girl Castle. Yeah. And they started to kind of have these little local contests. Like in my hometown, Lakewood, they would have these local church contests. And then it spawned into doing these big, like Gar High School, which was in Cerritos, had the big Gargantua contest, they refer to them as, and Mayfair Mayhem. And all the skaters from Jason Lee to Ed Templeton to all the skate gods would come down, Ray Barbie, and skate from these contests. And that's where I met Fabian. You know,
how did you hear about the contest, Fabian?
Man, hey, look. I had a guy that used to come. Well, he used to meet me on the busy street because he couldn't come to my neighborhood. You know, I lived in a bad neighborhood right there. You know, on 3rd and Kenmore in LA and the West Side. It's bad now, but not as like you could. It's better now. Back then, you had taxi cabs doing drive-bys on each other.